There we go. Hey, good morning. Good morning. So I'm sorry that we missed Thursday's live. It was funny because I started doing the live and then like everything went crazy. Um, and so I literally had to like stop the live in the middle of it. So let me see. All right, there we go. So I can see your comments. Good. All right. So um new podcast episode just dropped this morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name's Kristen Ingram, and I am the creator of Bookkeeper Training School, and I am the host of the Small Biz Mama podcast. And we have a new podcast episode that dropped this morning, all about what is filling your jar. And so I tell this story in the podcast episode, but I talk about there's a story about a teacher, and I don't even know if it's true. It could be, I don't know, but it's a great story. And we all have rocks and pebbles and sand that we get to put in our jar. And the problem is that a lot of us, we put sand in first, right? We put all the things that don't matter. And so the big things, the big rocks never make it into our jar. And so I'd love to have you check out that podcast episode today because I think that it is going to be really helpful for a lot of you to start thinking about, the really important things in our lives and if we are really giving them the time that they need in order for us to really thrive. So, um, I think one thing that can be really, really helpful is the thought that we control a lot more in our lives and our businesses than we'd like to give credit for. Um, and often I think that we kind of turn over to the fact that, well, I'm a mom and I'm a wife and I'm a daughter and I'm this and I'm that. And we think that those are the things that define what our day needs to look like. And I want you this week to start thinking about what are the things that you actually have control over in your day, right? So, for example, I have a lot of people come to me and say, I can't possibly start a business because I have little kids at home. I'm like, okay, I get that. I have a 3-year-old and it can be really hard to work while he is running around the house. So the question is, okay, so what can I do with that? What can I control over that? So if I need time to work on my business, what possible time do I have? Okay, so let's think about this. So I can either wake up really early in the morning, right? Like really early in the morning before Eric wakes up. So Eric typically wakes up, and I don't know your kids, if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay and you've got younger kids, what time do your kids wake up? Eric wakes up anywhere between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. It's really, really random. Um, and so if I want to guarantee that I have like an hour to work before he wakes up, then I would have to wake up at 5. Okay. Now some of you are like, that's not possible in my world. Okay, that's cool. So let's go the other end of the day. So at the other end of the day, I can put Eric down in his room at about 7 o'clock. Now he's going to play, right? And I know he's going to play. So I give him some stuff to play with in his room. He's got books, he's got some toys that are quiet. And what he'll do is he'll play in there until he gets tired enough, and then he'll crawl into his bed and he'll go to sleep. So I don't know if that's something that your kids do or if this is unique to mine, but that's what he'll do. So I could work from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock and then take an hour, to wind down at the end of the day and then go to sleep. Okay, so that's an option. Another option that I really like if you've got little kids is say, okay, we're going to do quiet time. And I know I talk about this quite a bit, but I love the concept of quiet time. And this is where, when the nap has ended, right? And Eric is kind of in this weird point where Sometimes he naps and sometimes he doesn't nap. And so what I will do is we say what used to be nap time is now rest time. And he will go in his room and he'll play with some quiet toys and he'll read his books and he'll do his thing in what used to be nap time. And that gives me time. Okay. So I want you to think creatively about the time that you have and don't just assume that there is no time. Okay. Um, because sometimes we've got to pull some stuff out of our jar every day in order to make this happen. So there are some days that I have to decide, am I going to go on my walk this morning? Um, this thing, right? How much time does this thing eat up in your day every single day? Okay. I've been deleting apps off my phone. They're like, they keep crawling back on, because you're like, oh, I've got to do this one thing, right? Does this happen to you? This can't just be me. Maybe it is. I don't know. But this thing, right, takes up so much of our time. You know, um, it is very rare that we turn on TV in our house. Um, I think, we turn it on sometimes for Eric when there's things that we have to get done. Um, and honestly, and that is another option, and that is an okay option. There are times I'll tell you that I have to get something done. Like I've got a client thing that's got a deadline. I've got to make a phone call. I've got a call with a prospective client. And you know what? Sometimes we turn on the TV, and there's nothing wrong with that because sometimes for the greater good of the family, right? You have to say, you know what? I'm going to let Eric watch, 30 minutes of Sesame Street today. The world will go on. Your child will not be damaged. Okay. Um, but it's deciding, right? It's consciously deciding every single day what you are going to allow on your schedule in your life, right? And in that jar. And I think when you think of it that way, it helps put the control back in your hands. Yes, there are certain things, you have to go, actually, you don't have to go grocery shopping anymore because you can have groceries delivered to your house, right? You have to go to doctor's appointments, right? You have to go to meetings for your kids' school. Those things you have to do, right? But I think that for a lot of you, those things are, few and far between. I think we often give up our own power because it's safe and it's comfortable. And when we realize that as women, we have the power to determine the trajectory of our lives, that gets really scary because then we think, oh my goodness, now I have to do something with this. Right? It's no longer just, no, everything's happening to me. It's all going, it's all doing what it's doing. And I have no power. I have no control. But once you decide that you get to fill that jar, right, that you get to determine what your day looks like, what your life looks like, that's scary, right? That's a little bit scary. I get it. Trust me. Um, I do this a lot. Like I'll sit there and I'm like, I could do this today. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that today. Ooh, that's a little, it's a little scary today. I get it. I get it. Okay. But let me tell you, mamas, you have the power. You have the control. You have that empty jar, and you get to decide what you put in it. So I hope you'll check out this week's episode of the Small Biz Mama podcast. And I hope that you will really start to think about what you're doing in your day, what you're doing in your week, and how that is serving you and your family, and what changes you might want to make. Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Okay. You can drop a post in the Small Biz Mama community, which is our group that we have for members and non-members of Bookkeeper Training School. And or you can drop a comment on our website at smallbizmama.com. All right, mamas, I will talk to you soon. Take care. Have an awesome day. And I can't wait to hear what you're putting in your jar. Take care. Bye.